Go with me to page 12. Let's go to this page right now. This is how, there's 5 steps on there that you ought to have with every piece that you send out. Remember, you're direct mail, direct response specialists. You got to choose one problem your target market faces. I've been hitting that for the last 2.5 hours. You got to get their attention with an irresistible headline. You got to immediately enlarge on that headline, meaning tie it in somehow. Give them an offer they can't refuse, and then make it easy for them to act. A lot of times when people put their message out there, they ask them to buy too quickly. What is wrong with buying? What is wrong with saying, please buy from me right now? What is wrong with that?
I feel like all you want is their money.
That is correct. Yeah, you don't care about them, they want too much. Let me ask you another question. How many of you are guilty, and by the way, I just gave away my answer. How many of you put in your ads or your marketing documents to say, please call us for a free price quote? Who does that? Does anybody do that?
Yeah, free consultation or planning session or.
Yeah. Does it work?
About the same as direct mail.
Jason, when somebody calls you up and says, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Jason, what do you guys do for a living? Well, I mean, how can you help me? How do you answer that question?
We help small business owners be more focused, strategic in how they operate their business.
I talked to him for 7 seconds. How much do you guys charge? 7 seconds, I'm into it. How much do you guys charge? You said ask for a free quote. What does it cost?
Well, the consultation we're talking about is free, but the service depends on what your needs are.
What if I end up using you? How much is it going to cost?
Depends on what your needs are, how we meet with you, how often we meet with you, what program we put you in.
He said ask for a free quote, and this bugger's not giving me one.
Free consultation, I'd say free quote. But
Oh, what'd you say?
consultation.
He changed it.
You just changed your mind on me. You know, a lot of people will do that. The problem with when you ask somebody for a free quote is that they'll call you up and ask for a free quote. You're in that game, Jan. You've been in it for years. It's a bummer, isn't it? Because you are based on a lot of people hiring you because of, hey, you got the best price and stuff like that. What I'm saying is, get away from all this hot stuff up here. This is a feeding frenzy up here. Everybody wants to be up here. Everybody wants to have the sell to close. I don't go up where the water's fluttering around. I go elsewhere where I know that there's fish out there, but they're not ready to bite yet. And I start this process. And by the time they need excavation, I'm on the top of the list. Chris, were you going to say something?
Well, you're earning the permission
I love that word.
and developing the relationship of trust to get the business.
I love that wording, earning the permission. What I use here is a symbol of a hand, like saying, you know what? Yeah, let's start a relationship here. My first letter that goes out when I'm reaching suspects is basically a very truthful letter that says, you don't know me, I don't know you. I know there's 100 guys knocking on your door right now saying the same thing. I don't want your business right now. Boom, defenses go down a little bit. I can't take you right now. But I want to start a relationship with you. And so from time to time, I really know about your CPA business. I'm going to send you some things from time to time that might help you increase your sales. Love, Peter. That's it. I didn't say I want a first meeting. I don't want a first consultation, Jason. I just want to start the relationship with them. If they're hot, the nice thing is they raise their hand and say, listen, it's funny you should call. We are considering right now changing vendors, and we need something printed. Yeah, I didn't know you did that. Very interesting. Okay, you with me here?
Another thing is, if you're starting early enough, you're framing.
What do you mean?
Conversation.
Well, explain framing. I know what you mean, but explain it.
You're setting up the context. You know, what are the 10 things you need from an HR professional in your business? What are how do you avoid having settling problems, come back and bite you on your project? Because if I'm doing excavation, the outcome of a bad job is settling or other problems related to that. How do you ensure that your craft project comes out the way you want?
When on page, what page that was, page 12, I tell you to present an irresistible message. If you know what your market is fearing, what their demographics are, what their greed is, what their values are, you're going to be able to have this kind of conversation that you were talking right to them. Turn the page over to page 13, and I want you to, I'm not going to go over this list. This is for your own benefit. This is 30 years of my smarts on this particular page right now. Here is something for you to put in the back of your craw and why I am such a headline Nazi. 80% of your money is spent on the headline alone. That's because 80% of the people read the headline and that's it. They don't go on. Because what we're doing is we're picking and choosing all day long. Does this apply to me? Does this apply to me? Is there anything in here for me? Think about that. 80 cents out of every dollar is in that headline alone. Interesting. Very interesting. So here's a checklist of what you want people to do. If you're putting your logo on the head, you get an F today. Bad. Repent. Change your evil ways. No logo on the top of the ad. Nobody cares about you or your logo. And if you want to send me something, I'll really critique it in private via my email. I want you to do something too. This is an assignment on this particular one. I want you to start a headline bank, like a bank account. As I'm going through Facebook, as I'm going in newspapers, wherever I look, if a headline grabs me and causes me to click on that link or to read something, I said, that was a good headline because it got me past that step. So you want to start writing headline banks, irrelevant of your industry. Doesn't matter. Just things that attracted you, because then you can go back and try to use that for your own benefit. When you're writing headlines, you got to talk like a human being. This is not an English writing class. It is talking how people talk, and you got to use words that doggy talk. I don't know what they say. What did they say, Heather? Do you know how doggy owners talk? She's going to go rough, aren't you, just right now? That's right. Okay, I'm not going to go over this page. Any comments or questions about headlines? That's everything that I know about writing headlines. Try me on some of these.
Can I just quickly, I can't remember what the WI...
What's in it for me?
Yeah, that's right.
What's in it for me? Go to page 14 and read that on your own time and answer the questions on your own time. See, once you get their headline, now you got to keep them. And you can't cheat on your headlines or your approach. For example, I've seen approaches where a plumber used the word, hey, I'm a sexy man. Okay, because we look at those words, we think, okay, he got my attention. Then you go in and he says, I'd like to now talk about plumbing. That makes people grumpy when you cheat to get them in. That's why I don't like the fake check. And if it worked, Russell, I can't talk. It probably worked, didn't it? Well, coffee. That's right. Okay. Next, I want you to figure out.
They were selling money.
What's that?
They were selling money.
That's true. Oh, you were? Okay, very good. It was very applicable then and stuff like that. I hate getting the fake rebate checks when there's no rebate at all. You know, where they think they're going to give you money and you're not going to get money unless you buy the deal. I don't know. I get 100 emails a day. And I get some from people that have opted in, and it's annoying. We're going to talk about this in segment number 2. It's the follow-up techniques, and how do you really follow up without using the Chinese torture method? I can't stand it when people keep on doing this to me day in and day out. Hey, I got more information. I don't want any more information. It's driving me nuts. And again, it goes back to number 1. They should know me more. They should know me better on that kind of stuff. But anyway, on the last one where I said make it easy for them to act, I really mean make it easy. If you want them to call, have them call. My advice on the action part is you give them really only 1 or 2 choices at the most. I've seen some people email me, call me, go to my website. I am a guy that likes to direct people down the path. In fact, the very best websites that I have only 2 options on there. On the one-page landing pages, which we're going to talk about more. It's either you don't respond or you do. I don't give them other options and that's me controlling the sales path. That's why you've got to know your sales path up and back. Okay, go back to page 15. I've alluded to this a little bit. Do you remember, my theory is let's get them up the stairs a little bit. Don't be so greedy for the sale so quick. Is this going against closing the sale? No, it is not going closing the sale. I have people who are playing, what's that game from the 80s? Frogger. Who's played Frogger? Describe Frogger.
They have to keep hopping from one to their own.
Right. And there's progress being made, right? Without getting squished and stuff like that, so you get to the other side. I have become, and this is kind of what I've kind of changed over the years, I've become a little more patient in my marketing. I choose my market and I work with them at their pace. They will tell you if they're cold or hot. They'll tell you that. And I try to get them earlier in the phase so I can keep up with them. And so I'm okay if they just do one thing as long as they keep moving up. There's a book you have to read. And I'm not going to email this to you. I'm going to tell you right now. Changed my life about selling. It's called Spin Selling, S-P-I-N. Sounds like a gimmick, doesn't it? Has anybody in this room heard about this? It's by Neil Rackham. You read the book? Did you like it?
It's okay.
It was good for me, and it was good for me because it's for people that sell things a little pricier. The book was written by a scientist by name Neil Rackham, is his name, and he did a lot of studies on sales situations. And the book, he says, as long as they're moving forward, that's okay, because you don't know how fast somebody wants to buy. Or we just don't say that. The customer doesn't say, well, I'm going to be buying in 3 weeks. It's like this guy over here. Yeah, it'll happen, but I bet you if there was an auto guy that was kind of keeping in touch with you, Jared, you'd probably keep better, you may buy from them. Neil Rackham, Spin Selling, it was a great book. Okay, I'm done on this page. That's something for you to read. I alluded to this, page 16. I was trying to draw it on the board and I didn't do it very good. I am encouraging you to contact your suspects earlier in the buying cycle. No matter what you sell, you can at least get them to raise their hand and say, you know what, someday I may have a need. What do you sell again, Mark?
Consulting services for organizational transformation.
If you went into the room and said, I'm here to sell you my consulting services for organizational, what do they say to you? 9 times out of 10.
Haven't had that many conversations.
Oh, we got to get more in front of people. Okay, how long have you been doing this?
About 3 years.
Oh.
2.5 3 years.
How do you get your business then?
I've had one main client, and then I've just tried to be building it since.
Okay, so you're trying to get more people to come on the sides and stuff like that. If he was going to say that to any one of you in this room, you'd probably say, not interested. Who in this room, here's an interesting thing, who's your market? Is there anybody in this room that could be your market? That fits the profile, do you think? What is the profile? I guess I should ask you that first.
Any organization that has, leadership and employees.
How many employees do I need?
It can be anywhere from 5 or more.
So somebody with 5 employees could afford your services?
That's a good question.
Well, no, by the way, I want to have all of you squirm a little bit.
Your 80/20.
He saved you. You're not off the hook yet. Yes.
Going back to the 80/20, one of the biggest issues we run into the SBDC is people come in and they say, this is my target. That's what I want to go for. And what we say and what Peter says, no. Who's the bullseye? Let's focus on the bullseye because they're the most likely to buy. So it may be that for you, it's 25 or greater. Because if they have under 25, they don't think they can afford it, they don't think they need it, they aren't interested in it. Over 25, there may be, maybe it's 50, who knows? But that is very common, is, people come in thinking the bigger the target, the better. No, what is good, the more focused, the easier they are to find, the easier are to get the right value proposition.
The more targeted you could be, the better. Go to this chart on 16. This is new stuff, and if you want to continue the email discussion about this, go ahead and email me or talk to me about this.